Hey, what's up guys, this is Astranox and I'm back from the Epic 7 video. So I've got Requiemroar. She's a 6-star and she's geared for offense. But to get some damage out of her, I'm using Daydream Joker. It's only plus 15 enhanced. And I've been getting comments like, when I bring a hero, a spotlight a hero, get comments like, yeah, this hero, you could have just replaced the hero with a father. This hero did nothing, but don't just look at the amount of damage the hero do. It's all about the debuffs and what these debuffs can do for your team. So Requiemroar has 75% chance to apply defense down for 2 turns on skill 3. This goes up to 100% chance, which is very good. Not only that, skill 1 applies attack down debuff. When you apply that, the target is going to deal roughly half its normal damage. So what happens is that you need lower survival stats on your frontliner. I know I'm using Angelica. It's just the way I have my team set up. I don't have the resources to build a knight to showcase a different team setup at this point. But I will do it later on. So attack down debuff is extremely powerful. Cutting the attack in half of the Wyvern, it works on all three, like the 3 chain attacks with this thing. And yeah, with skill up, 75% chance to apply. Now if the Wyvern goes in barrier, and let's say you have plenty of time to apply the attack down debuff, and now you fail to break the barrier, the boss will use this thing, attacks all enemies, dispel all buffs, and then it deals a shockwave that deals a ton of damage. But attack down debuff will stick on the Wyvern and it's gonna cut this damage in half, making it so much easier to survive that big spike. So you can have lower survival stats across your whole team. Now the drawback is that Requiemroar is not ice, so whenever she goes, it gives 10% combat readiness to the boss. But the beautiful thing about her is that she can be used in multiple areas of the game. And when I build my teams, I always ask myself, where can I use this hero? And of course, a hero that can be used in hunts, a hero that can be used in PvP, be it arena, guild war, and then if you can use the hero somewhere else, that's going to be huge. So Requiemroar, she can be used in arena. I'm using her. She's my combat readiness initiator with 206 base speed. She gives 20% combat readiness to the whole team whenever she goes. And my team is speed tuned. Yeah, she didn't do too much damage, but the debuff that she brings, even without skill ups, because mine doesn't have any skill up, is very good. Now, of course, skill ups is gonna make her even more powerful. But let's say you have an artifact like Celestine on her. One of the craziest artifacts that she can have on her is Celestine, and every time she attacks, it's gonna heal the ally with the less amount of health on your team, making it so much easier to keep your frontliner alive in Wyvern 11, and well, in any content really, but in Wyvern 11, like keeping your frontliner alive is huge. It's pretty much all about that. So combine attack down debuff, cutting the boss's attack, the target's attack in half, and the healing output of Celestine. Then you have high speed on your Requiemroar. It is an amazing combo. I wish I had it to test it and show you guys how strong it is. But if you are sitting on Requiemroar and you haven't built her, I would strongly suggest you to actually build her, because arena, guild war, hunts, can use her in Wyvern, can use her in Golem. I mean, you can I mean, you could use her in Banshee, but I don't think that's going to be optimal though. But still, she can be used in raid as well. Because don't overlook the attack down debuff. She's neutral element, she's dark, so it's easier for her to land the debuff. You don't get, let's say she was ice, well, if you're fighting earth, you're gonna have 50% chance to miss, so you cannot apply a debuff half the time. So being neutral element is huge. Now I'm gonna show all my gear after this this run, and you could be running not only Celestine, but let's say you have Rod of Miralis. You could use that on her. Actually, no, sorry, you cannot use Rod. You have to do a non-attack skill. Sorry, I mean Shimadra's Staff. If you have Shimadra's Staff, you can use that on her, and it's gonna boost. Let's say you have a Soul Weaver that heals in your team. It's gonna boost the healing output. It works on lifesteal sets as well. Any sort of healing, it will get boosted by Shimadra's Staff across your whole team. So it's very strong. Now my stats. Also her skill multipliers. Actually, let's just go real quick here. Her skill multipliers, skill 1 is 187%. Skill 2 is a passive. And skill 3 is 336%. If you soul burn, it becomes 505%. Another plus is that she's only a 3-star, so the chances of you getting Requiemroar is much higher, of course, than the 4 and 5-star Moonlight Summon heroes. Now her base stats. 106 speed, it is low, but I mean, you could definitely use her as a combat readiness. People are not expecting her to have super high speed. It's working out in my arena defense, actually. If you compare her to Shadow Rose, I don't know it's a Wyvern run, but Shadow Rose has 107, so it's only 1 speed less. I know Shadow Rose gives more combat readiness and she reduces the enemy's team combat readiness, but if you have enough speed on you, the rest of your team, you can have your whole team go before the enemy. Now her defense is good, her health, I mean, it's okay. But I mean, her attack as well is low. So if you are building her for damage, initially I was like, yeah, I'm not too sure about putting some damage gear on her. But you have to think that, let's say you don't have Celestine, or you don't want to wear Shimadra's Staff, even though you might have it. I mean, put Daydream Joker on her, have high crit chance and crit damage, and as much speed as possible, and then she will definitely deal quite a bit of damage against a target that has high health. I mean, I know in the runs it's not showing, but let me just show you what kind of stats she's got. Yeah, Celestine, by the way. So yeah, it's going to be 12% at plus 15 enhanced. 12% of the target's health is huge. It scales based on the target's max health. So let's say like whoever is in your front line will have a ton of health, or a mix of health and high defense. It will be very strong. And Shimadra's Staff, well, it's just 30% increased healing at plus 15 enhanced. It's a lot. I mean, it definitely helps. Of course, if you have Angelica, she has crazy healing output, and it will help her heal for more, and you won't need to have as good survival stats than if you didn't have Shimadra's Staff. Let me just straight up go on Requiemroar. So no skill ups. This is 50% chance. And every time this is landing, it's putting less pressure on your frontliner, buying you time, allowing you to just survive longer and have, let's say you normally in your runs you're dying before barrier, well, it's gonna increase your chance of successfully reaching the barrier phase, and at that point you gonna have a pretty good chance to apply attack down debuff during barrier, and if you do fail to break the barrier, it's gonna be there. And even if you do break the barrier, the attack down debuff will be on the boss, meaning the next barrage of triple fireball attacks, it will deal 50% less damage, so it is definitely helpful. Now this is a small amount of healing. It's like a mini life steal, only 5%, goes up to 10%. And if you use her in raid while you're clearing trash, normal waves of monsters, it's going to heal you for 15% of the max health of every hero. And also in PvP, if you kill a hero, it's healing your whole team. So it has its uses, but really for Wyvern, it doesn't help much unless you fail to break the barrier. Your whole team takes damage, and I mean, it's gonna contribute to some healing, but really where I'm seeing good healing is in the raid. Even without Celestine, it is accounting for a lot of healing across the whole run because you're killing a lot of monsters. But this thing, 100% chance to defense down for 2 turns, elemental neutral, so it's really powerful. And in PvP scenarios, she seems to be attacking whoever has the lowest survival, lowest health. So yeah, even on arena defense, it's gonna be a squishy target that's gonna be hit, and then like you're gonna have like your single target damage dealer or your cleaver, like your AoE damage dealer attack, and like if you have, let's say, Vildred, it's gonna take out the target and then it's gonna do another area attack. There's just really strong stuff, and elemental neutral doesn't have to deal with missing if you are at elemental disadvantage. They don't have to deal with that. But the multipliers are good, even though the attack is her attack stat is low. I mean, she's not a main damage dealer, but she's a hybrid. She's those debuffs cannot be overlooked. People think it's all about the numbers on like damage done, but you are incorrect, and debuffs are extremely powerful in this game. Do not overlook them. Alright, so let me start with my stats on her. So 219 speed, like when I use her in PvP, Sid is giving, just like talking in general, because it's really about building heroes that can be used in multiple areas in the game. So with memory imprints at 222. But yeah, I just built her with as much speed as I could, and I just use Wondrous Potion Vial. That's another thing though. If you don't have Celestine, if you don't have Shimadra's Staff, in PvE, let's say you're not going to be fighting a target with a bunch of health, Wondrous Potion Vial is going to do some really good things for you. And she can help with that. So she's really like a hybrid, like dealing some damage, healing, applying debuffs. So she's really great. And she can be like an actual main healer. If she has Celestine with high speed, she can heal for a ton. So really, like having the right artifacts for her can be a game changer. But you can definitely build her without those 5-star artifacts, guys. Like I did, and she's doing great for me. So yeah, I showed my stats already. These boots are insane though. I got super lucky with crafting and the rolls, and oh, so good. Alright, I'm just gonna put her back on this before I forget, because she's part of my arena defense. Now Kise, skill ups, Kise. I can do a video with Luna at another time. Angelica. But she is definitely reducing the amount of pressure your frontliner is going to take. And even if you fail your run, even if let's say she's not landing those debuffs, you can just do it again. And I mean, let's say your gear is not that good, you might have your success rate might not be that high, but those debuffs will definitely help you if you're struggling. I showed you already. What am I even doing? Angelica, I had speed boots on her. I went back with the health percentage main stat because, I mean, speed is good mostly for other content, but for Wyvern you want to have a ton of tankiness. And yeah, I mean, I'll try to get a knight up so I can do some videos. But I can tell you straight up that if I use a knight frontliner, it's most likely gonna be some kamikaze setup with triple damage dealers in the back, just taking out the Wyvern as fast as possible. That's definitely a viable setup. It's just that I'm gonna get comments like, yeah, I mean, we're struggling with Wyvern and that gear, the gear you're wearing is crazy, so I mean, it's not really obtainable early on. So of course, if I go with a setup like that and I spend resources building a tank, that's gonna be a comment that I will get. So yeah, I mean, if you want to just use a knight and a healer, of course I don't have it, but if I had Rod of Amaryllis, I would do like Crozet main tank with Aether. He can be the healer with Rod of Amaryllis. It's like 2 healers in one because of that artifact. And then the other 2 heroes, you can just go Misty Chain and Alexa. Alexa with Daydream Joker, high crit damage, speed is just insane, double attacking all the time with skill 1 whenever she crits. She destroyed my Taranor Guard, and she destroyed Taranor Guard, Kise and Luna in a Wyvern 11 because she's just crazy damage wise, and even as a 4-star it doesn't matter because it's all about that Daydream Joker damage plus the poison on skill 2. Together they just deal tremendous amount of damage. And if you are struggling in Wyvern 11 and you have Rod of Amaryllis, definitely don't overlook a team like that. Now you've got this option right here. You can just buy Rod if you have enough dust, if you have enough powder of knowledge. So definitely go for that. If you're still struggling and you don't have Angelica, Rod on Aether and whoever knight you want really. If you don't use Crozet, you could use Basque. His stats are lower. Basque bring debuff immunity. He can be used in other areas of the game more than Crozet, I would say. But Crozet, if you want pure tankiness, he's gonna have higher stats and that auto barrier on skill 2 whenever he drops below 50% health. Anyone on your team dropping below 50% health. But really, Basque has better uses across the whole game. He has more utility, I would say. But then you could use really any knight you want. You might just need more speed on your Aether to keep the knight alive. But like, if you go with that setup, Misty Chain with attack down debuff, cutting the attack in half, supplying 2 debuffs, and then Alexa 2 poison effects, it's gonna be huge. And then let's say you use Crozet or Basque, they have attack down debuff on skill 1, and Aether has speed down but cannot be applied on the boss because the boss is immune to speed down. But you could go instead of Alexa, you could go Taranor Guard, Misty Chain, and then Aether healing with Rod and Crozet as your knight, or Basque if you got him. He was limited, but Crozet everyone can get. Alexa everyone can get. Taranor Guard is a 3-star. If you don't have it, just get him from Mystic Summon. Just save your Mystic, what's called Mystic Metals until Taranor Guard appears in the rotation. You're gonna have a very high chance of pulling him. And after that, I mean, Misty Chain, you can do the same thing. Because I don't have Kiris yet after 100. How many days? It's insane. It's insane. Still no Kiris. I've done so many summons. I'm free to play, but I still like. I use all my my bookmarks. My Sky Stones, they're only for refills. 119 logins. Still no Kiris. So it's very possible that some of you out there don't have a Taranor Guard yet, and Misty Chain, and some of the earlier players might not have them. So yeah, I mean, if you want to just farm Wyvern 11 straight up, and that's your plan from the get-go. Just like have them in your selective summon if you don't want the headache of not having these two heroes, which are amazing in Wyvern 11. I mean, they can be used in other areas as well, so that's another plus. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Press the bell icon if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video. Also, Requiemroar on her 6th Awakening. She gets 6% attack increase, so the attack that you saw on her base attack of 827, that is with the 6th Awakening, which most players won't really have, so she has less attack than that in most cases. But really liking this hero, zero regret in building her, having a lot of fun, and I will definitely skill her up as soon as I'm done with Bellona, because I mean Bellona is just insane. That's just all it is. Bellona is totally worth the skill ups. Alright guys, I have other guides on the screen for Wyvern 11. Just check them out if you want to check the other team compositions. And if you want to see Alexa in action, check it out. Check it out, definitely. And I got Alexa, Misty Chain with Taranor Guard and Angelica in front, but really like Aether with Rod could keep any knight alive with enough speed and enough tankiness on your knight. So definitely try to get Rod if you're still struggling, and then you'd be good to go, unless you get really unlucky with getting Taranor Guard, Misty Chain. But yeah, alright guys, peace out for now.